Brodes Media.
And I loved that little fun barroom conversation that lived on WIP for about a day on what would have happened what if you didn't fire Andy Reid? And the balls on some of you to make the claim that, well, he wouldn't have duplicated the success. Huh? In what world? What do you mean? He went to Kansas City and had to rebuild that thing. Oh, he rebuilt that thing. He was savvy to go get Pat Mahomes. This wasn't hey, he's a number one, can't miss prospect. You go get that dude with the first pick in the draft. Sensational quarterback. This man was savvy as hell, and he was able to operate bada bing, bada boom, bang. And the Eagles needed to bolster up their roster again. If you gave Andy Reid that time, and okay, maybe we didn't know in the moment, but I'm not talking about that. I'm saying as we sit here today, and we do have the information on how great Andy Reid is and how he does have the ability to close the door. He closed the door. That was the drama nonstop when he was in this town. He can't get the big game done. He can't win the damn Super Bowl. Those NFC championships, I'll wash my ass with it because they mean nothing to me unless I get a Lombardi trophy. That was the talking points nonstop during the Andy Reid time. If you gave him the ability to work through after those final year, then you possibly could have duplicated what Andy Reid is doing in Kansas City right now. But you elected to go in another direction, which essentially scarred the Eagles front office for the rest of time. And now they are not going back to anybody with power without recognizing that people who are good at this have power for a reason, right? I know that it was a rotten egg with Chip Kelly, but that doesn't mean everyone who demands something is an absolute joke of a human being and horrible at their job and going to blow up the entire franchise. You just picked the wrong person. Look, there's a lot of people in jail, and there's a lot of people that do horrible, gross things. But that also means that there's a lot of people who aren't in jail because they are great, magnificent people. And some you can trust, some can't be trusted. Your job as a general manager, Howie Roseman, and your job as the owner, Jeffrey Lurie, is to find the good ones. You can't limit yourself because you are so afraid, because you're scared to make the wrong decision. That means you don't have confidence in yourself, and you're hiding behind that, so you start to get someone who's willing to do whatever you want to do. You're scared. You're scared to actually have some sort of competition, right, and to have a little give and take. That upsets you, and that's problematic that the person who's in charge is so not confident in himself that he has to limit the ceiling of the operation because, well, God forbid, Howie doesn't have all the say in the world. It's crazy to me. And I didn't really expect to talk about that to open up the show, to be honest. And, yeah, I mean, I didn't know where it was really going to take me. The Andy Reid stuff, yes, and he would have done it here, and they made a mistake. 100%. I don't even know how this is. I like the debate, but I don't get the people who are on the other side. Well, it was time. No, it wasn't time. No, it wasn't time. You could have stuck it out. He's one of the best ever. He's not just a good coach. This isn't a good coach. This is a guy who has an understanding on how to create a real culture. Ask every single former player who still currently stands in this city. I've never heard one little rumble, heard one little peep of negativity towards Big Red. They all give him that respect. Coach, coach. They love him to death. This guy's the perfect scheme guy. He's the perfect human guy who adapted from the older days, the two-a-days, swallow your spit if you're thirsty. I don't give a damn if you want water. You're going to throw up and puke running suicides before you're allowed to go get any sort of squirting the Gatorade off to the bench, all right? He lived through that time, and then he was able to connect with all these young cats, these young kids, these TikTokers, and they love that man to death. He's got it all. He's got the culture. We ain't got nothing. We don't have no culture. We have coaching staffs because now Vic Fangio is bringing in a big-ass dude, and he's bringing in some help. Nick Sirianni, the guy who's supposed to be the leader of them all. I don't know if he agrees with some of these people. You're removing every single one of his guys, and he doesn't have a lot of knowledge and a lot of acquaintances, not even acquaintances, but a lot of connections in this league like Vic Fangio does, and they're just snatching and throwing all of Sirianni's guys out the door to bring in dudes that he's got no clue who they are and what they do, and he's supposed to be in charge of them all, but not really. Not really, because he can't tell Vic Fangio what to do at all, because, well, Nick Sirianni has no power.
Hey, Brodes, after the AFC Championship, I was looking at these championship games a little bit, and I realized something. The results should say it clear. This NFL season for everyone fucking sucked. Maybe not for Chiefs and Niners fans, but let's face it, the quality of play was fucking terrible. And now we got two teams most people would say nobody wanted. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, awesome, but no one wants another dynasty. No one wants another Patriots, and we're getting it right in front of our face. Kellen Moore is not making me feel any better.
All right, with the ending there. I don't have a problem with this Super Bowl. I really don't. I want great teams to be playing. And the Lions were a cool story, but I don't know if they're as good as the Niners. Now, they deserve to beat San Francisco, and they shot themselves in the foot. But what I feel makes San Francisco better is the fact that they took advantage of that every time, every single time. Every time something poor happened, here are the 49ers, and that's how you make up the deficit when you were down a ton of points at half, and then bang, you really do put the gas on, and you really push down on that pedal. And Brock Purdy was making plays with his legs nonstop. You got to give them credit. The knock on Kyle Shanahan has been, if they are in the fourth quarter and they're working down the stretch and they are down, then they are not going to win that game. Yet here they are with the number one overall seed in the NFC. They have a home playoff game. They're down to the Lions big time, who came out swinging early, and they have an epic comeback after that. And now they're facing Kansas City. I think it's a great matchup. I'm extremely fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by the Brock Purdy angle. And I know I'm on an island with not hating the Niners as much as everyone else, so that's playing a role into this. But I think just from a quality of football standpoint, Andy Reid versus Kyle Shanahan. Think about those two offensive minds, then think about Nick Sirianni. Think about those two offensive minds, and then think about Nick Sirianni. And those two are going toe-to-toe with the chance to win a Super Bowl. That's awesome. Think about the defense on both sides. How is Spags going to respond? What's he going to do going up against Shanahan in that film room? That defense has been electric. They've been helping carry the offense when they haven't been able to really get things going as much as we've seen them operate in years past. This is great. I love the idea of these two teams playing. Would it be better if it was Ravens, Lions? No. Different because it's a different team finally, but I love a dynasty. The world probably hates it, and guess what? We'll see all the numbers, and it'll be 75 billion people who watched, and then Usher sings. Everyone's going to see that too and have a lot of opinions, I'm sure.